Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over a couple of guys I thought were standing out in the preseason games last week. There are a few pretty big scores and a few telling signs of the season ahead, but we will take it with a grain of salt. Preseason can be a bit wacky, a few guys missing out and a few changes. The setups are a bit different and we're just getting our first look at it. So let's go into it now, guys, with a few of the big ones from last weekend. Zach Butters was the big name, 36 disposals, 9 marks, 6 tackles, 2 goals, and only 67% time on ground for him. It was an absolute stellar performance. He exploded in the first half. I think he was almost tonning up in the first half. And yeah, just absolutely obliterating. I think it was the Eagles in the end. So take it with a grain of salt there, guys. What I get from Butters and Rosie here on 149 going big is it's a very good matchup, and they were just doing what they like in the middle. So yeah, Rosie also 33 disposals, 9 marks and 8 tackles. He was on the kick-ins and really racking it up down back, and as he was getting in the middle just a little bit as well. Jack Sinclair there, 149, another huge week for him. I think St Kilda was against Essendon this week. So another telling sign there. Essendon matchups probably pretty good because there's a few St Kilda boys at the top here. Jack Sinclair, 39 disposals, 10 marks. Marcus Windhager, 41 disposals and 9 marks. And just a bit further down there was Nazaya Wanganeen dominating again. 28 disposals, 4 goals to his name. So maybe forward status. We'll see. That'll be interesting. Tim English there as well, doing his way in the ruck against Hawthorn. I think he is by and far the number 1 ruck this year. He's got the athleticism. He's still young and he dominates. He's got the role there at the Dogs, and 131 from 23 disposals, 28 hitouts, 2 goals and 6 marks as well. So pretty damn good start there for Tim English. Luke Davies-Uniacke had a stellar day in the middle against Collingwood. Yes, Collingwood was missing a huge amount of players, but obviously Luke Davies-Uniacke is the main bull in the middle for North Melbourne. He was at almost every centre bounce and yeah, just making it look easy in the middle as well. He was getting so many clearances and racking it up. So 34 disposals, 6 marks, 6 tackles, 124 points for him. And here's where it gets pretty interesting. A few young guns breaking out now with Jagger Smith really accumulating the ball in that first game. He had 37 disposals, in the end, and a goal. He is just an accumulator. He is so smooth and silky in the middle. And he hasn't even played a game yet at AFL level. That was his first little go at it. And boy, did he put on a show in his first outing for the Carlton Football Club. Yeah, that's exciting for the year ahead. Even with Cripps, Walsh was there for most of it. Cooper Lord we'll talk about in a second. But the only one I could really think was missing was Adam Chera. And he could be missing a bit this year. So I have a feeling Jagger Smith is going to be one of the best rookies we've had in a long, long time this year. Look out for him. Angus Sheldrick also putting his name up in lights for round 1. Was getting amongst it in the middle. Got 117 from 32 disposals and only 78% time on ground for the game. So, yeah, these guys weren't all playing full games, but they were racking it up in the middle. And that was really exciting to see. I think Errol Goulden did go down in the first quarter and I don't think it's anything too serious, but maybe that did give Sheldrick that bump up in the midfield. But he made the most of it, and that's just another exciting one for the year ahead. 30 disposal Sheldrick there. Could be happening a bit this year. Cooper Lord, another standout from the Carlton game. He had 13 tackles for the game, which just shows the grunt for this kid. He is something else. And he's one that's flying under the radar because there are a lot of midfielders at Carlton. And yeah, maybe 13 tackles isn't too sustainable, but it sure shows that he is getting the time on ground and only had 72% time on ground, still managed to get 114 in the end. Pretty good. Rory Laird, 111 from his 30 disposals. He had 9 marks and, yeah, was on the kick-in duties, really racking it up down back and getting that junk time that we liked to see. And 111 for him is pretty good. I reckon he could get back to that form from 3-4 years ago now, getting closer to the 100 mark by the end of this year, I think. Tanner Bruhn, standing out for the Geelong Cats. I think, we didn't have Bailey Smith there, but most of the other guys were there. And yeah, it wasn't high time on ground either. Only 70% time on ground for his 29 disposals, which is pretty big. He was getting CBAs. He was getting amongst it, wasn't he? Just accumulating the ball at will, and pretty good kick-to-handball ratio there as well. So Tanner Bruhn could be back in the middle a lot this year for the Cats, and that's pretty damn exciting. Archie Roberts there was taking bulk kick-ins at the Essendon Bombers. They were getting smashed by St Kilda, and there were a lot of kick-ins there, but that could be the way of it this year. I think the ball's going to be down the back at the Bombers a fair bit, and they could be getting a lot of kick-ins into Archie Roberts. Still waiting to see Jordan Ridley and a few others getting in, but Archie Roberts seems the main man. He is a very skillful young footballer, and 29 disposals, leading for the Bombers now. So yeah, that could be a good shout for this year ahead. Forward option here, Josh Treacy, full forward, key position forward, nabbed 7 marks and had 5 goals for the day. It was against Adelaide, and I don't know, maybe the Adelaide defense has fallen a bit, or a bit of a reshuffle, but he was having his way with it, wasn't he? Just plucking marks for fun and kicking goals left, right, and centre. I thought he should be right up there with the Coleman the last couple of years, but he's had his niggles. So if he can keep his body right, he's the main man at Fremantle, and I reckon he could be a decent full forward option for the year ahead. Could be like Riley Thilthorpe or Sam Darcy, those full forwards that can really just keep plucking marks. And if he can get 2-3 goals a week, I think that will get him closer to the 70 or 80 mark by the end of the year. Hopefully he's going to average well. Levi Ashcroft there. Young gun for the Lions, and he was just having a all-round balanced day the other day. He had 20 disposals, 5 marks, 5 tackles, and 2 goals to his name. So whether we see him get forward status later in the season, that'll be interesting. We all know the midfield's stacked, so might be putting him on a wing or up forward to start off. But he has the pedigree, and he was showing it on the weekend, and didn't have a low time on ground, but was just getting amongst it wherever the ball went. And another Ashcroft brother to look out for. I think he's going to have a huge season this year. But there's more here, guys. A few guys that might not have hit the high heights, but they may have had low time on ground, or they just popped. And there were some rookies that I was keen on over the weekend. So Murphy Reid at the top here, tonned up with 30 disposals with Fremantle. They had, Hayden Young was back. They had Brayshaw there. Sarong was there. Erasmus was there. And Murphy Reid still comes out on top with 30 disposals, 5 marks for him to right on the dot ton up. People are very, very hyped for him. Rising star from last year and just hitting the ground running already. Again, had plenty of bodies around him to get the ball, but he was the main man on the weekend. I think maybe Sarong and Brayshaw may have, not had the highest time on ground, just a little bit time on the bench, but wasn't all game. I think they were still in the 70s for time on ground. So Murphy Reid doing really well there. Hayden Young, again, would love to see him just stay fit because, as you can see, when he does stay fit, he racks it up in the middle. He was getting a lot of CBAs on the weekend. 24 disposals, 6 tackles for his 99, and just a good showing. I'd just like to see him stay fit, and if he does, that could be it could be a big headache for opposition for Fremantle this year in the middle, because he was making the most of it, and that's really stacked midfield now at Fremantle, I believe. Toby Green, 98. He was getting a lot of CBAs with no Finn Callahan, no Tom Green, no Josh Kelly. Who's in the middle for the Giants? Toby Green is, apparently. He was the highest scorer for the Giants, 26 disposals, 8 tackles, and only 69% time on ground. So picking it up because he's been given the midfield role for this season ahead. I think even when Finn Callahan is back, it's going to be him, Harry Ralston, Clayton Oliver. I think Toby Green is the third or fourth man in there, and he got busy on the weekend. So that's pretty exciting forward option for us. Josh Ward, I've been talking about him all preseason. He is a young gun who's ready to pop. 22 disposals, 7 marks, 5 tackles, only 74% time on ground over the weekend. 97 from 3/4 of a game. Pretty good. I think he was the third highest scorer for the Hawks, and I reckon he's going to be very, very balanced. He's going to be getting a lot of opportunity this year, and I don't think a 90 average is out of the question for Josh Ward this year. I reckon he is going to get busy, and I think it is time for his breakout. So get ready for that one. I don't think I'm too hyperbolic about that. I think Josh Ward is a very, very good option this year, especially if you've missed that midfield rush. Josh Rochelle, forward, who is getting CBAs again. No Rankin in there, no Saligo in there. So he was racking it up and got 95 in the end from his 18 disposals, 5 marks, 6 tackles in the end. So good balanced performance for him and less reliant on the goals. He was getting the CBAs. He was chaining together plays a lot. So bit of a different role for him this year. And I think he's going to get that bump that we're all expecting. We'll just wait to see how far that bump goes. Really interesting one here with, and please correct me, I think we're all going to struggle to get his name right for the first few weeks, but Tom Blemmers? I'm going to go with Blammers. He had his first game after getting picked up like late last week for North Melbourne. VFL recruit. Had an absolutely huge year in the VFL last year. I think he was averaging closer to 30 disposals. And he was put on the halfback flank and running it through the middle for North Melbourne. He had a few inside 50s. He looked really good for North Melbourne. So this could be an absolute diamond in the rough this year. I think a lot of, especially classic coaches, are getting on board with him. He's a bottomed out price. But goodness, he's a mature age recruit. I think he's 24 or 25. And he's a mid only at the moment, but I reckon he could get that defensive status by round 6. And goodness me, a 92 on your first game. I know it was a bit of an undermanned Pies squad, but it showed some promise. And again, mature age recruit at North Melbourne. Could be anything, maybe it's good that North Melbourne's not playing too many young kids. They've got these guys like Tom Blammo, whatever, however you say it. He's coming in and making the most of his opportunities. So stay on with Tom Blammers. That is an interesting one come round 1. Brodie Grundy, ruckman here, got 88 points. Might not have stood out the page, but then you look at that time on ground. 58% time on ground, barely played over a half for his 88 points, 15 disposals, 32 hit-outs. I think Brodie Grundy is going to be one of the best rucks this year with the new rules. He's a midfielder in my mind. He's just such a fast-moving and, athletic ruckman. So 88 from barely over a half of footy, dominant performance for him. Riley Sanders there, 85. He got a ball kicked in his face, I think at the end of the third or start of the fourth quarter, and he got taken off with concussion protocols. But he got 26 disposals and 85 fantasy points by that point. So missed out on the whole last quarter and 66% time on ground for him. So really dominant performance. And he had Bont, he had Libba, Ed Richards. All the names were there. I think if we're looking for an Adam Treloar replacement, I think it's Riley Sanders. I think he's going to get busy in the midfield and, be that mid forward. Could be a top 10 forward by the end of the year if these early stats are anything to go by. A good breakout on the cards for Riley Sanders. Hugh McCluggage may have only got 83 points, but he did it in less than a half. He got 83 points with 45% time on ground. What was that? 12 disposals, 5 marks, 7 tackles. Can't get much more all-rounder performance than that. Absolutely picking it up. All the lines were there too, and he was still getting busy. So huge year for huge Hugh McCluggage incoming. Jaden Short was kicking it in down back for the Tigers, and in just over a half of game time, because they had some lightning coming down, called off the game just after halftime. But he still managed 79 points in just over a half of footy. 20 disposals and 8 marks for him. So really the general down back at the Tigers. And as we all know, the ball's probably going to be down that end of the field a bit this year. So look out for Jaden Short. Could be popping off just like a lot of people had been hoping the last few years. I think he's going to get back to some form. Josh Lindsay, good rookie. First game for him, and managed a 76 from, pretty dominant rookie performance. 22 disposals, 5 marks. He even got forward for a goal as well. Seems like he's going to be a big distributor for the Eagles this year, and another one where the ball's going to be down there a lot. So look out for Josh Lindsay. I think he could be maybe on the cards for Rookie of the Year with Jagger Smith this year. I think he will be right up the top. Maybe same with this guy. I don't know. Harry Ralston played 10 games last year, but he is going to hit the ground running this year, I think, in his first full preseason. 71% time on ground for his 73 points in the end. He had 19 disposals in that, just under 3/4 of game time. And it felt like GWS was really just cruising on the day. I don't know if they were really putting in 100%. A lot of guys had that 70-ish time on ground, but Harry Ralston was going like, a point per 1% of time on ground. So for a rookie, 10 games in with all the opportunity ahead of him, I think that is one of the locks for the season if you're looking for a low-end midfielder that's going to get game time. I think he's going to average well into the 80s by the end of this year. So that's exciting. Another exciting one here, my boy, Kane McAuliffe. 17 disposals and 66 points. Again, in that shortened game with Richmond and Melbourne, just over a half a footy, but he managed 66 points there, and he was on a wing. So running up and down the wing, bit different for him. He's usually in his younger years been that bull in the middle, extracting the ball, getting tackles. But now he's zippy up the wing at Richmond, and that could be one of the most interesting role changes for the year ahead. And possibly a midfielder that we could get on board with now. I likened it to maybe Errol Goulden, if I'm going to be a bit too crazy with my relating players here. But, wingmen have become pretty important in fantasy the last few years. If you can get ahead of your man on the wing, you're probably going to rack it up with some marks, keep the chains going down the wing. And McAuliffe has that brilliant left boot, and I think... I'm just getting some mini Errol Goulden vibes here for the Tigers if they're going to be putting it out wide to Kane McAuliffe as often as they were on the weekends. Then that is pretty exciting in my mind. And I'm hoping he can get a high 70s average by the end of the year. I think he's definitely got it in him. Yeah, Kane McAuliffe, absolute jet. Fingers crossed. And finally here, a defender option in Trent Rivers, who... only played 38% of the game the other day. And the game, again, Melbourne versus Richmond, only went for just over a half. So 38% of just over a half is less than a quarter of a game that he played. And he managed 56 points from his quarter that he played the other day. 17 disposals from that game time. And that means, in my mind, he was getting in the middle. He was getting CBAs. He was doing a lot with those CBAs in the very, very short amount of time he was on the field. So, yes, it was Richmond. We could take that with a bit of a grain of salt, but Trent Rivers seems to have the midfield role for the year ahead. Could be that third banana in the middle with Jack Steele, Cozzy Pickett, maybe fourth banana behind Harvey Langford, but I don't know. Seems like second or third position at the moment. He was racking it up, and that was very, very exciting for the year ahead. A few defenders on the list here, guys, racking it up. And preseason, we can take these with a little bit of a grain of salt with some of the time on grounds, some of the matchups. People were, cruising a bit last weekend, but we can get some diamonds in the roughs here, and there are a few of them, and it's going to be a really exciting season ahead. Keen for round 1, guys. I won't be here in round 0. I'm not going to be covering the games this weekend. I've got my mum's birthday to head to, but round 1, that's where it's important. I'll be back for round 1. Carlton versus Richmond in a week and a bit. And yeah, get ready for a watch along. Going to be watching the game and having the stats up on the channel, commentating from a fantasy point of view. And yeah, come along and check it out with me, guys, on Richmond versus Carlton just over a week from now. And hopefully we'll see some of these guys popping again. It's going to be a really exciting season, so come and join me. And yeah, follow me on social media. Come play some Game Day Squad with me, guys. Use the code to get a few packs and start your dynasty before the season starts. And yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.